Oh boy, Farming Simulator on the PlayStation 3 puts you in the role of an everyday farmer. You start off with a loan, which you must pay off by tending to your farm. You begin with a few appliances and seeds to grow your farm, but it's up to you to make it successful. Harvest your wheat, barley, etc., sell it, make your money, buy new and better appliances, some new animals, and some seeds, and then you do this over and over again until you pay off your loan and make your farm the best farm ever. Unsurprisingly, Farming Simulator is exactly what it advertises. You farm and farm and farm and farm. You tend your fields, make sure everything is growing correctly, and harvest your field and then set out to sell it. All of this is in real time as well, by the way, meaning you have to actually slowly drive your tractor through fields to harvest and then dump it in a truck that you have to drive all the way to the shop where you sell it, and then you have to drive all the way back. The game does add different ways to farm later on, which will decrease the amount of time, the things you need to do, and the time it takes to do them, but still, it's just the same thing over and over again. But even when it's not the same thing over and over again, it's still very tedious, it's very glitchy. This game has tons and tons of glitches, at least on the PS3. I'm not sure on the PC. I played it on PS3, so I'm not sure. Maybe it's just the PS3 version, but there are a lot of glitches. There are times where I'm just driving my tractor all the way to the city, which is a boring-ass task, and then, of course, what happens? It just flips over out of nowhere. Why? I don't know. Glitches. That's the only reason I can think of why my tractor just suddenly flipped over for no reason. It's just driving along. That's all I was doing. But even if the game didn't have any glitches, it's still a very dull experience. It's just, you do the same thing over and over again, which I get it. It's a farming simulator. I should have just expected that's all it was going to be. But they could have spruced it up with some nice little fun additions, but there really isn't anything that fun about this game, at least on PS3. I heard PC versions are actually kind of fun, especially when you're playing with friends, but the PS3 version is not fun. I don't really recommend it. I don't think it's horrible. It does what it does decent, I guess, but it just doesn't add too much variety in there, and it just becomes a very, very boring, non-pleasing looking game. I mean, it's definitely not the best looking game out there. Oh boy, no. And there's tons of glitches, and obviously there's no story whatsoever. You make up your own story, pretty much. So there you go. There's my review for Farming Simulator. I didn't really care for it, so I guess let's go on to the pros and cons. There's a nice selection of things you can harvest if you are a big farming guy and you just want to harvest all of the different things. Then you have plenty of them here. And my last positive is that there is a lot of brands in here, like a variety of different like tractors from different brands, like the big name ones like John Deere and whatnot. So if you're a big fan of that, then hey, you get to drive in some of your favorite brands of tractors. Now the negatives, of course, include the glitches, which there are plenty of. Now, I wouldn't say the glitches actually ruined the game for me. Actually, sometimes the glitches were actually kind of funny. Like the tractor, when it flipped over, it did flip back over, so it's not like it ruined my game. It was just like, oh, it flipped over. Now it's flipping back. Okay, good, I can keep going. So the glitches actually provided some entertainment, which is to my next negative, which is that it's just not very entertaining. Even though it has a wide variety of things for you to harvest and stuff, it's still the same thing over and over again. I mean, let's be honest here. You plant your seed, you wait for it to grow, you harvest it. You might do a little bit something different here and there, but for the most part, it's still the same monotonous task over and over again. And then my last negative is that the game is just not appealing to look at. It's a very ugly game. Maybe on PC it looks better, but PS3 it does not. So anyway, there you go. There's my review for Farming Simulator. I hope you enjoyed it. On the PC it's probably better, but on PS3 I just don't think it, it just doesn't really hold up. So I don't care for this game. So there you go. Farming Simulator review. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you and goodbye.